Hey guys, Quicksilver Gaming here, bringing you another episode of Ultimate General American Civil War. This is episode 42 of our Union Let's Play. We are on to the Battle of Georgia Railroad, where we will be defending against a massive horde of Confederates, and we're allowed to take one corps into this, and this is what we are taking. So, I alluded to last episode that it would be a bunch of infantry and about 6 artillery brigades, and then fill out more infantry. And then I am going to try and bring this cavalry brigade here. Sometimes the 24th Brigade doesn't make its way onto the battlefield, so if these guys don't show up, oh well. If they do show up, yeah, it's pretty good, and I will be pretty happy there. So you can see here we have some more of our green units up top and in Corps or 2nd Division, and then 1 in 3rd Division, and then, or actually 2 in 3rd Division, and then a bunch of 2-stars throughout. We're going with about 2,000 men for our more green groups. They have a mix of Springfield 1842s, Tyler Texases, Palmettos, and one of them with some 1853 Enfields. The 2-stars have Enfields, all reliables because they're nearly 3-star. Be really cool to get them to 3-star before we have the Battle of Richmond. They are coming in. They do have Fayetteville, so they're my sort of elite unit here. And then the rest are just these 2-stars, with 2 of them having Harper's Ferry 1855s and 2 having Springfield 1855s. The rest is artillery. Well, quick shooters, they just have Sharps Model 1855s. My plan is probably to dismount them if they do show up, and they'll just be nice quick-firing units. That's the idea with them. For our artillery, we're bringing all the 24-pounder howitzers that we can muster. We still have 8 in our armory. There are 12 in the shop, so technically before Richmond, I can create one more battery of these if we don't take too many casualties leading up to Richmond. That is the idea there. But on a defensive battle, I really like the 24-pounder howitzer. You place it behind your troops, and it just does a devastating amount of damage to the enemy. So this is what we're doing. We're also bringing, who is it? John Newton in as a corps commander because he is very close to 3-stars. So it'd be really cool if before Richmond he becomes a 3-star. We have demoted John Gibbon to a divisional commander because I didn't realize that John Newton had so much more experience than him. So on to the battle map, which Georgia Railroad is all the way down here. I missed it when we were looking at the map last time. I mentioned it would be nice if the map was more centered so that Georgia Railroad wasn't this afterthought down here. You can see lots of money for Georgia Railroad, a bunch of troops. It's not as important. And then 5 reputation, which is, that's the standard that you get for these minor missions or secondary missions, whatever you want to call it. You'll see here the enemy has 51,351 soldiers and 153 guns. We are heavily outnumbered, but it's not as bad as it could be. We do have 33,693 soldiers and 84 guns, so they outnumber us by about 18,000. Now, I don't know if we get all of our men right away either, which is another issue there. They like to make these battles very, very difficult for you. Like, the numbers look good in your favor at times going into them, but through the placing you in bad positions, having parts of your army on the battlefield and parts show up later or never at all, looking at you, Gettysburg, and I think even Gaines Mill, or not Gaines Mill, it was Malvern Hill. There's a lot of battles where just good chunks of my army never showed up, and it's like you can never trust this how many brigades you can bring in sort of thing, but that's a different story for a different day. Let's go on to Georgia Railroad, 22nd of July, 1864. In the beginning of May 1864, our army departed Chattanooga, Tennessee, and continued further south. During our advance, we were confronted by the Confederate General Joseph E. Johnston, who continuously executed delaying tactics without giving a real battle. The Confederate forces withdrew along Georgia Railroad toward Atlanta, giving us ground to surround the city and build entrenched positions. One of our corps is needed east of the city to control Georgia Railroad. According to our latest reports, General John B. Hood has replaced Johnston in the command of the besieged Confederate Army. Hood is known to be an aggressive commander, so all our forces have been warned of a possible Confederate attack. And I don't know how historically accurate Georgia Railroad is, but the story of John B. Hood is absolutely incredible. I'm going to start this while I say this. So I'll get to him in a moment. General, our scouts reported that a Confederate force is heading to our trenches. Which, slow roll up over here. These trenches look okay, not great. We need to deploy our men and repel the attackers. Hold your position at all costs, or else the Confederates will be able to reopen Georgia Railroad and receive valuable supplies. Okay, so while I set up this force, which there's not really much setting up to do, to be honest, General Hood is an insane story. So if you watch the movie Gettysburg, he's the one that protests Longstreet about going up and attacking the left flank, or the fishhook, of the Union line, most notably at Devil's Den and Little Round Top. Hood suffers a major injury to his left arm. They don't amputate it, which is really strange, but they do... He does lose the use of his arm for the entire war. Now, you'd think, oh, you just lost an arm, probably not able to do a lot after that. Well, with Hood, that's just wrong. He fought and commanded at the Battle of Chickamauga, which was in September of 1863, so you have to think the Battle of Gettysburg ended, what is it? Is it July 3rd? I can't remember if it ends July 3rd or July 4th. But ends super early July, and Chickamauga is, what, like mid-September. So 3 months later, 2 months later, I can do math, like 2.5 months later, Hood, returning from a catastrophic injury to his right arm that could have possibly killed him, when you think about it, because amputations were not always successful in the Civil War. Who is not in 1st Division here? I'm really screwing this up for you guys. He could have got gangrene. I mean, you look at, like, Stonewall Jackson. He didn't necessarily die because of his amputated arm, but he contracted pneumonia. Oh, it was 5 of 5 brigades. I'm like, why can I not place these guys here? So these guys will go over here, and we'll probably have this unit go somewhere over here. I guess I'm not very good at multitasking. So, anyways, he fights at Chickamauga, and his femur is fractured at the Battle of Chickamauga. So, you know, like, more good luck for Hood. And they amputate his leg 4 inches above his hip. So you're like, all right, the dude doesn't have the use of his arm or the use of his leg. Or he just straight up doesn't have a leg. So surely he can't, you know, do anything anymore. Negative. He gets basically like a cork prosthetic leg, and he learns how to ride his horse and command his troops from horseback. Now, that being said, Hood was probably a fantastic general leading up to Chickamauga and through Chickamauga. After that, he was given command of, like, the entire army here, like it alluded to, which is the whole point of this story. And in this sort of engagement in the war, he basically loses an entire Confederate army. I think he loses like 20,000 soldiers in these engagements. So the rest of the war was not kind to him, to put it lightly. So I've been absolutely terrible deploying my troops and multitasking. I'm apparently absolutely doo-doo at multitasking, but I wanted to tell that story because I was reading up on Hood, and I was just like, this is an absolutely insane story when you think about it. Okay, so that's all deployed there. Now, 4th Division, I need to figure out what to do with you. I was going to have Brooklyn Boys go over here. Could have... So that cavalry is here, which is pretty cool. So I think I should do something... Well, everybody has to deploy in here. So we'll just deploy all of these guys in here and do something like this. And where is my supply wagon? All right, so that is our deployments. Let's start the battle. Let's do some pausing right away before I, you know, try to multitask some more and absolutely fail at it. That was not good multitasking on my part whatsoever. So I apologize for that if that first part was a little bit boring, but I just thought that was a crazy tale to tell, and I really wanted to tell it because I think history is cool. I'm not the best historian, but I know a little bit here and there. And I would say I'm smarter than your average Joe. That's probably not true. I'm probably nowhere near as smart as your average Joe. But yeah, I just thought that was really cool. So that's my tangent on the Civil War, on Mr. General Hood, because I thought it was cool enough to talk about. That I had turned off the volume for this game, so there's a slight delay pause in there as I turned on the special effects for this game. I was like, why is this game so quiet? Oh yeah, because what I like to do is I like to mess around with the army while I'm doing other projects, and a lot of times that includes listening to something, so I turn the camp volume off, because the camp volume is incredibly loud. I don't know why it's so loud, but it is very, very loud. Quite obnoxious. It's weird that that's not a supply point. It's weird that there's no supply point whatsoever. Like, this should be a supply point right here. I really feel like that should be a supply point, but it is not. This should also be a supply point. Maybe the game thought that would just make the game too easy, having a supply point. I would really like one, but I guess I understand. I don't really understand sometimes why games do things, but okay. This gun, however, should probably go over here. Confederates are attacking our right. So right now, the Confederates have 6,000 more men than us, and all of their guns on the battlefield, so that's a little scary. I do like that they've given us a little bit of time to set up. Obviously, that makes things potentially boring. That's interesting over here, that they are all the way up there. I don't have any artillery over there. So that's starting to make me worry just a tad. Now these guys don't have great range, and I just realized that. It would almost be better to put all reliables right there, and to put these guys more like where Justice is, and move Justice over here. Actually, if we moved like yeah, if we did something like that, that might be better, actually. Let's have you guys run. Yeah, and then let's put quick shooters kind of over here. That might be a better position for them. So there's artillery out and about. I don't know. They outnumber us heavily, so I don't know if we will actually be able to push out on the enemy. We'll have to see. But this is... That was a lot of rebel yell. A lot of yelling. Alright, there we go. There's that group over there. Oh boy. You guys need to run over there. They're in the river though. Shoot them. Damn, the whole of the rebel army is attacking me. You don't say. Why are you guys not running? Getting a little nervous here. That was a big push over there. That is a really big push over here. There comes a couple guys over there. Let's have you guys go hit them. That is a really far charge too. They're about to hit our lines, I think. Okay, I think I actually need iron sights to go over there. Alright, that was repulsed. Over here, this is a mess. We'd probably put you guys, like, right there. Who's in melee combat? Is it these guys? Let's, just give him canister. I like that we brought all these 24-pounders because this is really terrifying. Sorry if I'm moving the camera around a lot. I'm just really trying to... Oh, I can... Did you always zoom out this far? Holy cow. Am I just... Alright. I understand I play on a widescreen monitor though, so I understand if I zoom out too far. It's really hard for you guys to see what's going on if you don't also have a widescreen monitor, so I am aware of that, and I try not to utilize my widescreen monitor to that extent all the time. Okay, I need you guys to shoot them because they are charging. Alright, you guys should volley, right? Yep, there we go. They're really getting up on main, so Newton probably needs to... This is probably the scariest position right now. There we go. Quick shooters should be able to shoot into that, right? I mean, I guess not if they don't ever make it there. There's some more charges incoming. Probably need to hit them. I need to be painfully aware of who is charging where. Actually, let's get these guys out of there. Great, great, this is good. Oh shoot. No, I don't want you following them. Okay, more melee. I think we're doing fine. Over here, I think we're also doing fine. Okay, this is going fairly well, I believe, I hope. Let's start, we probably need to start doing the baggage train run, the supply run. I don't know if I said, I think I went 2 into economy and 1 into logistics, so I think we're economy 9 and logistics 5. After this battle, I'll probably put another point into logistics. It depends how many guns I need to buy to outfit two whole corps. That's kind of my thought process, to be honest. It's based on how many guns I have to buy. But logistics is, I understand, logistics is now becoming very, very important at this stage because these battles are lasting a very long time. Our supply is actually decent. I hope it's decent. Can you guys... Would that be... Explosive shot? Okay, over here. I mean, there's not a lot for me to do other than just monitor the line and maybe redirect some targeting. I mean, their morale is fantastic. Mainly because I have Newton over there, who is the Corps Commander. So there's not a lot of worry there. Let's just fix up this, and then that should work for the time being. Okay, so that's good. These two cannons are doing work. Hitting them in the river is always perfect. Not many casualties over here. To be honest, Maine is the one that has taken the most. Maybe, no, Brooklyn Boys has detached skirmishers. So it's really Maine. And I might move Maine out for Electric Strawberry soon. I find Electric Strawberry, that name's so funny. It's a real name. I don't remember who it belongs to in the US military, but it is a real name of a real regiment. But it's a very funny one, like, we're gonna call ourselves Electric Strawberry. That's gonna strike fear in the heart of the enemy. If you guys know, I'm too lazy to look it up at the moment, and I'll probably forget by the time this video is over. If you know the history of the name Electric Strawberry and you're willing to write a little blurb about it, doesn't have to be long, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. Some of you are absolute saints when it comes to obscure historical knowledge or correcting me in my historical knowledge, and I'm not a history buff, but I'm a history nerd, if that makes sense. Like, I would never claim to be a historian. I did want to major in history when I went to college, but, like, no offense to anybody that's majored in history, there's not a lot of career opportunities there. Wow, this 24-pounder is maybe taking a few too many casualties. That's a little crappy there. Let's just have it move back. Actually, if it swapped spots with colonials, that might be best. Because New Hampshire is taking a beating. That is for sure. Over here, oh, let's hit the guys that are in the river always. They routed. Over here, looks like they might route. I would love for you to, like, sneak out, shoot. I just don't want you to follow them. But I think we're doing really well. We've taken out 11,000 of them, and we've lost, like, not even 2,000. So, really well on our end. If we can get Florida... Who is this? Florida Brigade? That's pretty cool. I don't know much about the super late war of the American Civil War. As I said, I'm not a history buff, I'm a history nerd. So I like pick and choose what I want to learn about. So like up until probably Chickamauga is really where my historical knowledge sort of ends, I guess is the best way to put it. I would love to get Maine out of there, but there's too many guys shooting them. If more of them route, I'll feel good about changing up who I shoot. Or, not who I shoot. Terrible wording. Where I place my guys. Okay, they are massed mostly over here, so I think we're going to move a couple more units over. And by a couple more units, I mean really just that. Those guys. And I think Excelsior, if we move you over and move this artillery over, I think that'll be better too. This artillery, pretty good spot. If they shift over here, we still have this artillery here. But in all honesty, that artillery... Oh, they've taken a lot of damage. I didn't realize that. They're just probably too close over here is probably the problem. Let's keep Force doing his thing. Yeah, that's, I mean, the problem... So one of the problems with using 24-pounders in a defensive battle is you want them as close as possible so that they're not firing round shot. That they get grape shot shots off and that they're not firing round shot. That's, but the more aggressive you are with your artillery, obviously the more casualties they might take. Because the enemy artillery isn't necessarily targeting my 24-pounders, they're targeting Rhode Island, but Justice is taking... So, like, they're just taking stray cannon shots. And that's the problem that I'm having right now. So maybe I should have done 20-pounder parrots over here. So I could have sat back a little bit more, I'm not sure. But, like, Justice... Probably taking too many casualties. I wonder... We can move you guys there, and you guys there. There seems to be... Well, I mean, there's... You can see the cannon shells there. They're charging with cavalry now. That's interesting. Can we move these guys up? That would be kind of cool. Move that cannon over a little bit more. Please don't shatter through my lines. Or actually, sorry, shattering's fine, which they just did. I hate when the cavalry breaks through your lines and it's like, okay, now they're bugged in behind my lines. Wonder if there's anything I can do differently right now. I mean, not really. I feel like you stave off the initial assault and then everything is pretty good. I mean, they have lost 17,500 men. We've lost not even 3,000 so far, so... I mean, I'll take that. I don't want to say anything. You guys know what I'm about to say. I'm not going to say it because it's not going to go well. Illinois, Ohio... Excelsior. So as I said, I could replace Maine with Electric Strawberry or even Rhode Island. Could honestly put, like, Justice right here. Because they've taken so many random hits. And move you guys over here. That's probably what we'll do. And then you guys run over here. And I'd like to do... Can I break any more of these units? I'd love to give them a rest. Well, there we go. I alluded to it, and then somebody's wounded. Colonel Schaefer. I think he was artillery? Yeah, because I put some colonels in artillery. Man, they are really getting a lot of stray hits on my 24-pounders. Which is really unfortunate, but I don't want to push it back any further because, yeah, they're already firing round shot, which is not good whatsoever. I wonder if I maybe put the artillery... Oh, there we go. Here comes our casualties. Okay. Maine, you have to get out of there. And you guys take that spot. And then Maine, just pull you guys back. And then, can we get these guns? Alright, can we pull you back and then have you guys run in? But Rhode Island could honestly go, like, right there. And Maine... You can just position yourself over here. All reliables, they've taken a few casualties, but I need them to stay forward so they continue dealing damage to the enemy. Because I would like them to hit 3 stars. That is kind of a goal of mine for all reliables. Alright, we did the little switcheroo. We've got more fresh units over there. So what I want to do over here... I want to move you guys out over here. This place Excelsior, right there, Northern Wall. Just have you guys run. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to give a breather to the troops that might be... Well, their condition is fine. That's crazy. Okay, their ammo's not doing well over here. I think our ammo's doing okay over here. I don't see any yellow, but I do need Penn State to continue shooting. That is for sure. Northern Wall, let's have you guys run up over here, and you'll replace New Hampshire. Because they've taken a good amount of casualties. So you guys do the quick swap. You guys need to run out of there. You guys can go over here. This section of the battlefield doesn't seem to be an issue. Over here, it's not an issue. Brooklyn Boys have definitely taken... No, I keep forgetting they have 227 skirmishers detached. So they really haven't taken a beating. I don't know if the best use of your ammunition is to hit them, skirmishers by them, but it'll work. We've definitely taken some artillery casualties, but I much prefer the artillery up closer so that it can get the explosive shot out as opposed to round shot. I think they're still shooting a round shot, which is not good. They call the Orphan Brigade. Does anybody know the history of that? That's a very interesting name for a brigade. Very dark and gloomy. And seeing as they have the word brigade after it, I'm assuming that's a very historical brigade for the Confederates. Because most of these are just the... Like, you have the Florida Brigade and you have the Orphan Brigade. And like, you had the Stonewall Brigade, Louisiana Tigers, Texas Brigade. Those are ones that I've seen in here. But otherwise, most of them are just the name of the general. Force, you're going to have to go back over here. I think we're good on ammo. Not really good on ammo, but it's okay. It's an absolutely crazy, nutty battle. We've caused 22,000 casualties. They're just about to hit 4,000, which is absolutely crazy. I'm not sure if I want to continue past the timer. I'm not sure if, you know, the battle allows you to continue past the timer. Because at some point in this battle, there's just going to be 153 artillery pieces out there, and these beat-up brigades, and I don't know how much more, like, effective I can be. I feel like there's a point in the battle where it's definitely diminishing returns. And I'd rather not lose more guns, as they're pretty expensive. And by the guns, I mean the 24-pounder cannons, because I've lost, what was it, like 8? I'll probably get some back from medicine. I've lost 6. So we'll see if I've actually lost 6 when all is said and done. I also want to point out, I ragged on Reconnaissance earlier in the campaign. Reconnaissance 4 is actually good. But 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I don't think that's good. It gives you, like, I guess exactly how many brigades they have or something like that, but I don't see how that's beneficial. It tells you how many brigades they have at the very beginning, so it really is, yeah, I don't know. Reconnaissance 4, though, it gives you exact numbers, which is crazy. Exact number of guns. I've lost 7 cannons now. The only thing I would say is don't make this a crutch. I've seen YouTubers out there that get way too hung up on those Reconnaissance 4 numbers, and it's just like continue fighting the battle and worry about that more than, like, the exact numbers of casualties you do, because, like, there's not exactly a lot that you can do. What are you gonna say, like, oh, we're really behind, I need to push more aggressive, or I don't know. What it's really good for is when you're thinking about going on the attack and you're like, all right, how many men and guns do they have left? And that gives you a better idea on your counterattack of what kind of resistance you'll see. Like at Chickamauga, Reconnaissance 4 would have been amazing, and I actually wish I had Reconnaissance 4 at Chickamauga. I think I would have been a lot more aggressive at certain stages of that battle. Palmer should shatter over here. He's close. Let's have this 24-pounder shoot Palmer. Actually hit Walker. He's also close. I think Walker and Palmer would shatter. Come on, come on, come on. Yes! Perfect. If we can get... The more shatters, the better. Come on. They're not wavering, though, so it probably won't be a shatter. Okay, so I don't get a choice. It just ends, which I'm fine with. We lost 4,297 men and 8 guns. So let's check in the army camp screen if we actually lost 8 guns, because as I said, medicine can sometimes recover those guns for you. But I will take that any day of the week. We were outnumbered by 18,000, and that is over a 5-to-1 kill ratio. Oh, and 984 cavalry. So that's, gosh, math is going to be really hard for me. That is, what, 26,600, roughly? 26,600, I think, is the rough estimate. And we lost not a lot. You had those 242, and we're sitting somewhere in the ballpark of 4,600 men. So we killed 22, or caused 22,000 more casualties than they did, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. What were the goals of this? Lose less than 40% of your army. I've seen people really struggle at this battle, and I think you should use 24-pounder howitzers in this battle. I think that's the key, and I like 6 of them. In all honesty, I could definitely see bringing a 7th artillery piece over those cavalry, and that 7th piece, maybe even like 5 24-pounders and 2 20-pounder parrots. I think that would go really well. And then just big, chunky units to sit on the walls that are like 1 stars and back them up with 2 stars behind it. I think that is the way to go, because they didn't... Not a single one of my units wavered. I've seen a lot of people struggle where their units waver, and I think they get like a little too tricky, or sometimes people go way too heavy on cannons. You still need infantry to hold. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't think I'm very good at this game, but I think I'm fairly smart at this game. So, what was I? I was looking for kills. Holy God. Penn State, 2,985 kills for 261 losses. They're going to be a 2-star. I don't think I have ever seen infantry cause that many casualties. I've seen this. This is why you take 24-pounders in this battle. Like 2,336, 2,096, 2,035, 1,927, 1,634. The worst one was 1,225. And they were probably too far back because they only had 6 losses. Whereas you can see some of the others took a few more losses, but I think that's acceptable. Acceptable casualties. Massachusetts, pretty good. 2,196. I bet they're not 1-star anymore. Maine, they took a lot of casualties, but they held the line really well. Not once did they like falter. Same with New Hampshire. Brooklyn boys on that flank did really well. I mean, those kills are great. Now Mercer, that's interesting. You actually did pretty well. I wonder how you did so well. And then, you know, some of their artillery did okay. Palmer. Gosh, I feel like Palmer is in every battle. So, okay, I wanted to look. So, like, they have Florida Brigade, Orphan Brigade, and that's it. So, yeah, if anybody is willing, and they know off the top of their head, and I'm not asking for, an essay or anything, just like a little blurb, I would love to know about the Orphan Brigade. That's a very unique name, a very morbid name for a brigade, and brigades are definitely named that for a reason. Like, obviously, the Florida Brigade, they come from Florida. The Texas Brigade was Hood's boys from Texas. It's like things like that. Ooh, I like to see that. So Kent Cook, unfortunately wounded. Roberto Schaefer, also wounded, but Lester Stafford promoted to colonel. Cool. I did bring some lieutenant colonels and colonels into this battle to get them promoted. Another lieutenant colonel promoted. 3 lieutenant colonels promoted, so I like to see that. I think it's very smart to spread out your training for your generals so you don't put all your eggs in one basket, because I have a lot of 2-star generals now. So captured some CS Richmonds, we'll sell those. Enfields, we'll sell those. Tyler, Texas, we always use those. That's good to see. Fayetteville's, we use those. CS Richmonds, we use those. So, I mean, let's do like very, very quick rudimentary math. So like, let's just round this up to both 900. So 1800, another 900, 2700. Somewhere in the like 2800 range of guns, and we dealt about a little less than 28,000 casualties. So our recovery rate is 11%. I don't know. I get people's arguments on it's for like balance and whatnot, but I think they're missing the enjoyment people get from getting loot. Like, if you ever played an RPG or a CRPG or just like any type of RPG or strategy game that drops loot, getting loot is one of the most enjoyable parts of the game. So shortchanging people on loot feels bad. That's just my thing. So I would love to see somewhere along the lines like 25% rate of capture of the enemy guns. I feel like that's acceptable in a game like this. I mean, especially the fact that like the Confederates, they raided entire armories to get their weapons, and you can't do that in this game. So I feel like this is a way to kind of replicate that in history. Anyways, let's move on from this and my ramblings. I don't know how many of you actually listen to my ramblings. So here we are in the army camp screen. A good chunk of money, a good chunk of recruits that we probably won't use. Career point, reputation. And let's take a look here. So after medicine kicked in, we have 4 guns, 5 guns lost. So that's not as bad. We had lost 8. And how will that work out for artillery? So we have 9. Oh, and we have... and one of those guns went into our armory, so that's interesting. So we have 9, 12, 21. We have to replace 5. Goes down to 16. I want groups of 14. So in the next battle, we can't lose more than 2 24-pounders. But the next battle is an attack battle, so I'll probably be using 10-pounder parrots and 20-pounder parrots more so than 24-pounders. That's sort of where I'm going as I'm learning this. Is I really like the parrot rifled cannons for attack, because they can shoot further, especially in the explosive shot, than the 24-pounders, where the 24-pounders you really need to roll them forward, like right directly behind your line. They might take more casualties, but that's where you'll get those absurd kills. Like if I've been messing around with how my units are, but I'm pretty sure this one stayed a 24-pounder for most of its life, because you look at Chickamauga and it has 2,554. Oh, it tells you what kind of guns it was at the battle. That's amazing. And it tells you who the officer was. I never knew that was a feature. So you can see, like, there's a lot of battles where I'm well north of 1,500 kills. Whereas some of these other ones, like Cold Harbor, probably just wrong place, wrong time. Well, actually, Cold Harbor, there was a lot of nothing, so it was in the wrong core, obviously. There was a 20-pounder parrot at Nansmond River, which makes sense. 14-pounder James. That was a lot of kills at Stones River. Yeah, alright. So that's really cool. Just kind of getting my point across about the 24-pounders. But if you look at our barracks, I have a lot of 2-star generals left. I've got a couple 1-star generals left. If you look in here, I could recruit more colonels. But if you look across my army, like, I have a lot of a mishmash of 1-stars and 2-stars over here in my leftover 2-star brigades, and then over here in my other 2-stars and 3-stars, I put all my 2-stars. So we have tons of 2-stars. And that's what I was talking about. Like, I feel like in those little battles, put the generals in there that you want to be promoted. If you put all of your good generals in, more likely than not, you'll lose more of your good generals than you'll gain out of it. So that's why on the minor battles, I've started to put like colonels and lieutenant colonels and 1-star generals in my battles so that they get promoted to colonel, they get promoted to 1-star general. The 1-star generals get promoted to 2-star generals, just things like that. Interesting note. Nobody leveled up? What if I give you a 1-star general? Really? Didn't... Oh, Penn State... Yeah, they're 1-star. Man! And a 2-star general, and they... That is so crazy. They nearly caused 3,000 casualties and only lost 261. And they didn't level up? How low were they? I'll have to go back and look at what their... Wow. That blows my mind. That's insane. I don't have a leftover colonel. Shoot. Yeah. Cannons are also a fantastic way to level up officers, especially 24-pounders. I think every single artillery officer leveled up. I don't think these guys did much that battle. No. They just lost 99 men, and they lost... Some of these units didn't do great. I'm amazed... Okay. Because they will have a 2-star, what happens if I give them... Yes! Yes! Oh, I've been trying to level up all reliables forever. So that gives me 7 3-star brigades. Dun 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 dun. Perfect. What do I give them? I give them that thing, which is elite. I don't know if I should give them sharpshooter. Sharpshooter might have been better. Efficiency, like morale doesn't matter. Stamina doesn't matter. Melee does matter. So it's really just efficiency and melee. Whereas this gives you efficiency, firearms, which can matter, and spotting. Maybe it should have been sharpshooter. But we've been going with that the entire way, so we'll just continue going with that so that it's kind of like uniform across the board. I love that. Another 3-star. I've been really trying to get that 7th 3-star, although 7 screws up my math, but I feel like they've been on the cusp of 3-star for so long, and you like to get rewarded for that. And they're a big chunky unit. Like to see that. So for my armory, this is what my armory looks like. It's not great. Not great by any means. But on the flip side, our army is looking pretty good. it's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Like, we have some artillery to replace. All of our cav is good except for these guys that I brought in for whatever reason. Should have brought somebody else in. First Corps, their numbers are fantastic even after that battle. Like, building the units up to 2,000 and then the casualties they took, perfectly acceptable. Second Corps obviously needs work. What I would like to do for Richmond is all of my 1-star units, or 0-star if I have enough guns to fill out 4 Corps. I'd like them to be about 2,000 men. And then all of my 2-stars, I'd like them to be about 1,500 men, because that's about kind of where you can get to before you start running out of experience and you drop to below a star. So then I have to start filling out with veterans, and that becomes really expensive. And then I would love if I could get my 3 stars to 1,500 also. That would be the plan. So you can see some of these units, they've got a lot of experience. They have a good amount of men. These are the ones that need a little bit more men, but really, like, the lowest is Wolverines at 1,091. That's not bad. It's not like Chickamauga, where I had to redo that battle because I had units that were down into like 500s or 600s or whatever. And let me just say, if you get late in the campaign and that happens, probably redo the battle you just did, because it becomes really expensive. Because what I do is I sort of, like, say I was filling up this unit. If I'm not aiming for a 3-star in this unit, I fill it up with enough men that are rookies just before the 2-star expires. Then I would apply that, and then I would fill in the rest that I need with veterans. So, say I was trying to get to like 2,100 with this. So I could get to 2017 with rookies, and then I'd have to fill 83 dudes with veterans, and that makes it a lot more feasible. Because veterans are stupid expensive. Like, 12,000, now that includes guns, but although my recruit pool is getting better and better, which I like. I didn't realize it did that. So that's pretty cool there. But I've ranted a lot in this video, and this video is starting to get really long. We'll see if I keep all of this in at the end, but that is it for today's episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, all of that YouTube jazz. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Love to hear feedback from you guys. Check out the American Revolution series that I just started. They released a brand new update for that. That game is awesome. I'll put a link right in the top right-hand corner to that video. And as always, guys, until next time.